On April 20th, 2007, rescue crews boarded a yacht drifting in the Coral Sea. The engine was running, a laptop was open and running, food was still on the table, but the 3 men who sailed her were gone. Everything on board suggested the crew had just stepped away, but there was nowhere to step. They were 160 kilometers offshore. The yacht was the Kaz II, a 9.8-meter catamaran. 5 days earlier, she had departed from Shute Harbor near Airlie Beach in Queensland, Australia. Her destination was Townsville, 100 nautical miles north, the first leg of a planned 8-week voyage around the Australian coast. On board were 3 men from Perth, skipper Derek Batten, age 56, and brothers Peter and James Tunstead, 69 and 63. None of them was a strong swimmer. They had sailed in sheltered waters before, but this was their first open ocean passage. At 10:05 on the morning of April 15th, they set sail. Home video recorded by James Tunstead in those first minutes would become the last footage of all 3 men alive. It shows choppy seas, fenders hanging from the rails, Batten at the helm, and Peter fishing from the back of the boat. No one is wearing a life jacket. At 6:45 that evening, a volunteer radio operator received a call from the Kaz II. Their position, George Point in the Whitsunday Islands. The message was brief. All was well. It was the last anyone heard from them. Sometime after that call, something went wrong, but the yacht kept moving. GPS data recovered later showed the Kaz II maintained a northeast heading through the night, then began drifting aimlessly. For 3 days, the empty catamaran drifted through the Great Barrier Reef, threading between coral reefs and island passages that challenge experienced navigators. On April 16th, a fishing boat skipper saw her drifting with a shredded sail. He came within 50 meters. He saw no one aboard. He did not call it in. 2 days later, on April 18th, a Coast Guard helicopter spotted the Kaz II adrift in the Coral Sea. Rescue teams reached the vessel on April 20th and boarded her, 88 nautical miles northeast of Townsville. What they found made no sense. The diesel engine was idling in neutral. A laptop was running. Food and flatware were set out on the table. Life jackets were stowed in their compartments, none missing. The small rescue boat was still hoisted on the stern. There was no damage to the hull, no signs of a struggle, no blood, and no evidence of third-party involvement. Australia launched a major maritime search operation. 10 aircraft, 2 helicopters, 4 rescue boats, and Navy support sweeping hundreds of square nautical miles of the Coral Sea. Over the following week, they found nothing. But forensic officers found one detail that others had overlooked. A fishing lure was tangled around the port rudder, and on the aft stairway, a narrow platform called the sugar scoop, sitting barely above the waterline, someone had been standing. In 2008, Queensland State Coroner Michael Barnes pieced together what the evidence suggested. One of the brothers, likely Peter, who had been fishing, stepped onto the sugar scoop platform to free the tangled lure. He fell in. His brother went after him. Batten, still aboard, started the engine and tried to drop the sails to turn back. But when he left the helm, the wind may have shifted. The boom may have swung across the deck, and the third man went overboard. With the wind at 15 knots, the unmanned catamaran would have been beyond reach in seconds. None of the 3 was a strong swimmer. The seas were choppy. The coroner concluded they drowned within minutes, swept away while their boat sailed on without them. The bodies of Derek Batten, Peter Tunstead, and James Tunstead have never been recovered. The coroner called it a freak accident, a chain reaction triggered by something as small as a fishing lure caught in a rudder. The Kaz II drifted for 3 days through the Great Barrier Reef, past coral walls, through narrow channels, across open sea, with no one at the helm. The media called her a ghost ship, but the truth was simpler and far more human. 3 men trusted the water, and the water did not forgive a single mistake.